There's one line in the book, I think. I really hope I wrote this down right, because it's a great line. It's like where it says, "Don't measure time." I think it says it at the beginning. I don't know. Where time is just a factor that is not as important as it seems to matter to a lot of organizations. Yet, in this case, it doesn't. And speaking as a consultant as well, we often get paid by time, especially if you're freelancing. There's a lot of that element there, and you're given X amount of time and needs to be done X amount of time, and it never seems to really add up, because also new ways of working like agile also don't necessarily say, oh, it's done by them. We just iterate till it's good enough, right? Because that's what you want to go. And you mentioned quality assessment. So if you say don't measure time, why? What's the angle there over in the organization?
Well, the angle there is very simple. If you pay me by time, the longer I take, the more you pay me. So where's the incentive to do anything quickly? You know. Whereas in this case, if they do something slowly, it takes more time, and they're losing money because they're not working and producing something. So it's very much it is. We talk a lot about managing by output, rewarding people for results. This is absolutely what you do, because uh, you know, the time is irrelevant. How long it takes them to do something is a cost to them if they can't be doing something else at the same time. It's not it doesn't relate to their income. So there's every incentive to work more effectively, get more output in the same time. If you pay them by the time, there's absolutely no incentive to do that. Obviously, if they can't produce anything at all, that's different. But the good example in the book is when conventionally, when they first started, we're trying things, they were paying overtime to people for working late, and so people were having to work. They could never get the job finished, so they simply said, "Tell you what we'll do: we'll buy out the overtime by simply paying everybody a salary, which fixed rate, but which included their average overtime for the employees for the previous 6 months. But we now don't insist they work the hours. Within 6 months, every employee except one was now working regular hours, didn't need to work the overtime, because actually they proved that they could, and they increased productivity immediately by something like 20%, just by doing that, because people were really slowing down in order to get paid more. So that's what conventional work does. The one person who was still working long hours turns out had domestic problems and wanted to stay at work and not go home. That was their motivation. Uh, uh, so just prove the point that paying for time just decreases productivity.